Hello, it's Kayleen here from Startup Creative, and this morning I am talking about my top 5, I think they're all free marketing tips that are going to help you to get more sales in your business. So it's 7:30 on Friday morning and fresh out of the shower with coffee in hand and ready to get stuck into 5 top tips. That if you're like me, Fridays can be a really good catch-up day on your business where you just pump out a lot of stuff. Or you can spend the weekend, maybe if you get some spare time on the weekend, looking at strategy, and then or starting fresh on a Monday is really good as well. So use these tips to sit back from your business. I'm not going to give you quick fixes, although there are some in there, but majority of what I'm going to talk about is stepping back from your business, actually thinking really seriously about what you're going to do, and then implementing them with proper strategy as well. So let's kick it off. My top 5 marketing tips to get you more sales in your business. So first one is to create epic content. So we're actually living in the information age at the moment. So people are buying information. We want to read stories. We want to know what's up to date. We want to teach ourselves. You know, the university system, I believe, is quite slow and isn't always up to date with what's going on in our, with the fast pace of especially entrepreneurs, startups and business world. So create amazing content that people can devour. So my tips for creating content is being personable, using a few different platforms. So you might like to like social media is a great platform. So Instagram, Facebook. You also want to be blogging. We've just recently started Facebook Lives and YouTube's videos. But finding a few different ways to create content. We also have a magazine for our readers as well. So the idea behind content is that you're giving something for free for your audience to come and suss you out. So they're coming to want to engage with you. You're giving them free advice. You're giving them really valuable advice. Maybe you're giving them like a free download or something that they can practically use. But the idea is that you're capturing them in. So they're coming to your business to devour the content. And then if they think you're credible, they'll check out what else you have to offer. So reality is people aren't just going to come walking in your door and be like, this is an awesome business, let's do this. Yes, there's some businesses that do that really well. A lot of them have really big budgets that can put advertising everywhere. They're innovating and changing the game, or so they're getting lots of PR and media, or they're trend setting. So people are talking about them and they're actually cultivating, a way bigger scheme of community. So for a lot of entrepreneurs and startups out there, creating content, really valuable content, is going to stand out above anything else. If you create one blog post that ever is so useful, that's really personal, that really connects with people are going to tag and share and read and do everything that you want them to do on behalf of your business for you. And if you can really nail it, then they're going to have trust in you as a business, and then they're going to come looking at your shop. So creating content is a really good way to market yourself as a professional in the business industry. Even if you're a product or a service that's providing something really practical, creating free content for your audience can be just as valuable in terms of getting people to your site. Like, how else would they get to your website if they're not there for the content? So number 1, create epic content. Number 2, you want to add value. So whilst you have a product or service, a lot of people these days are looking for the added value. What else do I get for that? So I'm going to pay this amount of price for this service, but I should also be able to get bonuses or extras or free shipping or free returns, or what is it that you can give me that's going to add extra value to your to your product or your service. So some ways that you might do this: you don't necessarily have to give free stuff away all the time. What you might like to do is give bonus content. So maybe there's something that you can create, for free, like a checklist or something, and get people to download that if they visit the website. You can give bonus added over the top customer service. The number of businesses that I use these days as a consumer that just don't value their customer service, if they picked up their customer service, that for me would feel like over the top added value, because it's very hard to come by amazing customer service these days. How else can you add value is be personal and engage with them on social media. So I use this tip all of the time, but I highly recommend. I personally see a growth in my Instagram following, my Facebook following, my online sales when I'm being personal and I'm sharing from my own personal experience. And that may or may not be relevant to everyone, but the absolute least you can do is, if someone's commenting on your stuff, go and engage from a personal level as a real person and write back to them as well. So that is a bonus, like customer service. If I ask a question on an Instagram or a Facebook page of a business, then if I know that they're going to reply to me, like opening hours, I often do when I can't be bothered looking for business opening hours, I'll just comment on their stuff or inbox them. And then the last tip you can do for adding value is obviously giving stuff for free. So if you've got things to bundle up, then definitely do that and create like what we call is like a perceived value as well. So some people will have a really good product that they can add, like shipping or whatever they can add to as bonus content for free. But like for me, for example, I often like to bundle up my products and services. So not all of the time. If you do it all of the time, you can really get known for like, oh, they're always on sale. But I genuinely believe that if someone buys my ebook, my workbook, my e-course and downloads all of our free stuff, then they have a really good chance of starting an amazing business and get a coaching session. So for me, bundling all of that up and discounting the price for people is what I believe will get results for people, but also a really great way to reward my customers with value. So to make more sales, a great way to market is to add value to your customer. So what I was talking about before, I think I went off topic, was perceived value. So whilst you're not giving, maybe, you're not buy one, get one free, where you have to cover the cost of the extra stock going out the door, you can give perceived value. So buy this and I'll call you and we'll have a chat about it, or you get a free consultation, or you'll get, an invitation to a VIP invitation to our events, or things that you're doing anyway that you would love to offer to your audience as well. Cool. So number 2 is add value. Number 3 is to really get to know your customer, so your client map. So what I typically do, and I do this on a regular basis, I did it last Sunday night, I sat down and actually had a client text me, they were doing it exactly the same time. We were both mapping out our client. So what I do is I sit down with a big piece of paper. I typically use big A3 paper like this. I'll draw Startup Creative client in the middle, and then actually here it is here, my Startup Creative audience. Okay, so what I'll do is come up with the 3 people. So people who want to start a business, people who have just started but they've kind of made it up as they're going and they just jumped in the deep end, and then people who are absolutely killing it in business but they might need a refresh here and there. So then once I list those 3 dream clients that are coming into my business, I then start to list who these kind of people are. So people who have started and winging it are typically freelancers, creatives. They might have market stands on the weekends. And then I go, okay, what are they actually looking for from me? What are their needs? So these kind of people might need some marketing, some finance, and some social media advice. So when you really truly get to understand your customer, then you can market and use language that's going to suit them. So for me, the people who in my audience who really want to start a business might be mums who are on maternity leave, uni students, people who are in a 9-to-5 and just want out. They're not doing what they love. So a lot of what I experience with those customers is that they're really fearful of what it would mean to leave a 9-to-5. The mums are often like really inspired and energetic to not want to go back to work and want to stay home and look after their kids. and the uni students just want to be disruptive and do something different. Yeah, Amy says, I need to do this. Definitely do this, Amy. I do it on a regular basis. Whenever I get overwhelmed, I go back and I do this. So once I understand my customer, then I can use marketing language that is going to tell them that I've got what they need to help their problems. So if I know that a mum is coming to me and she doesn't want to go back to work because she wants to create her own job, that means she can spend more time with her kid, then what other businesses that can I collaborate with who are already targeting that mum audience? Or how can I send out a mail blast or do a special deal or add value to a mum who might need to buy our e-course, okay? So special for mums on the e-course, or maybe I'll, offer them, this is a good idea I just made up, maybe I'll offer a mums group where it's like mums and bubs and starting a business workshop. So yeah, you can start to come out with new products, services, marketing language, and how you're actually going to speak to your audience. So once you understand them, then you know how to talk to them. So definitely do that on a regular basis, and it will guarantee provide you clarity. Once you feel like you know your audience, you're like, yep, cool, I know these people, I really understand them, and I can also provide solutions and add value to their life. So it becomes less about a marketing strategy and more about let me help your problems, or let me help ease pain, or let me create amazing, valuable content that's really going to help you in your life. That's how I see it. So doing your client maps, the things you want to ask are who are they, how do you talk to them, and who else is talking to them is a really great way to come up with collaboration ideas. Something that I did with a recent coaching client was she was developing a fashion label, and her target market, we've started talking about it, was very similar to her. So we talked about the idea of, we were trying to pick her price point. Where are her competitors, and how much would people be willing to pay for what she had to offer? She was going to hand make her clothes. So I suggested to her that a lot of her target market was her and her friends. So let's get your friends around a dinner table and show them your designs, ask them how much they would pay, where would they want to buy this, how often would they buy it, what colours would they want it in, what would they wear it with, So getting information from your customer is one of the most valuable things you'll ever do. I highly recommend, before you come and speak to a business coach or anyone else, go and find your customer and speak to them. So if you're just starting out a business right now, don't go and ask your mum unless she's your target market if you think it's a good idea. Go and find your target market and then say, is this a good idea? Do you like it? Would you pay for it? Is a really good question to ask. And that's where you start to constantly do this target market research. Even now, when people say to me, if it's friends or family, or people I just run into the street, like I've been to networking events or I've been hosting stalls at, fairs and things, and people say to me, oh, I'm really loving your videos, or I'm really loving Startup Creative, or your Instagram's great. And then I go, right, what is it that you love? What's really working about it? What do you love the most? What do you want to see more of? So don't let those opportunities go by without understanding what your client really needs. Cool. So number 3 is do your client map, understand who your audience is, and work out exactly how to talk to them. Number 4 is call your audience to action. The number of businesses that I see that all talk, like this is what we're doing, blah, 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 come see this, come do that, rah, 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 but there's no call to action. So the reality is where a lot of businesses are online or even walking through a shopping centre. Everything's so fast paced. We've got so much information coming in. Everything's really competitive as to how they grab our attention. What you want to do is make sure that you're calling your customer to action. So are you clearly stating to them, buy now, like register here, sign up now, like really making sure you're giving them a really call action as to what they need to do in order to get to take your... Thanks, Beck. Beck's just said, I love how genuine I am. Do my best. So yeah, making sure that you're giving them a really great call to action. So give them all the information about what you have to offer them, but then also make sure that you're actually saying to them, don't forget to sign up here, and just making it really clear and easy so that they're taking information overload. The kids are screaming, they're half on Instagram, they've got music in the background. Oh, what do I actually need to do? Okay, yeah, here's the button where I click and I register. So making it also, there's nothing worse than I'm clicking on a button because I really want to buy this product or service, and then the link doesn't work, or I have to click on 3 other links or fill out a registration form, or it takes me to a really ugly mobile page that isn't mobile optimized. So if I'm on my phone, it looks really ugly and clunky and hard to use. I'm out. Like, you've lost me as a customer. So call me to action and make it really easy for me to get to the checkout. Cool. Some other things you can do with your call to action is to create urgency and give time frames. So I think people who do this really well at the moment are booking sites. So especially like accommodation booking sites, they'll be like, 3 people looking at this room, or only 2 spots, or they create that real urgency. So you're online, you're like, oh my God, I've got to book it. Someone else is going to get this room. And, it creates urgency. So I don't always recommend creating like stress in people's lives, because that stresses me out. But definitely call people to action and give them time slots. So for one day only, here's a sale, or sign up before the end of the day and get this added bonus. So giving them a time slot that they have to take action in, because the reality is that people get busy, and if it's always there and it's always available, then they're just going to, it can be really easy to just go, I'll get it later, or it's there, right now it's not a priority or whatever. But if you give it time and urgency, then people have to take action. So you're calling them out of their slumber of, one day I'll start a business, and being like, no, start a business now, and this is why starting a business is beneficial for you. Take action. Make sense? All right, so number 5 is make it easy for them to buy. So this is what I was talking about before, is that really clear call to action. But now I want you to actually go and look at all of your platforms where people can click through to your website or your shop or interact with you, and make sure it's really easy for them to find how to buy from you. So things like your Instagram bio can be really clear about what it is that you have to offer. So do you have, coaching, a product, a service? Like what is it that you actually have to offer? Is there a link in your Instagram bio that helps me to go straight to your shop? Is your Facebook link your website? Do you have shop buttons throughout your whole website? Using custom URLs. So if you've got a product on offer that you're advertising on Instagram and Facebook at the moment, making sure that any links that you use go straight to that product, not just your homepage on your website. And making it as easy as people to buy. So something that you might like to do is if, before I talk to you about getting in front of your customer, if you want to go and get in front of your customer, maybe you want to walk the streets and give out pamphlets, making sure that your website is really obvious, exactly with a custom URL, or things that people are going to be able to go online and get the direct information that they saw and experienced in real life. If you're sending products and services, making sure that you've got your business card and Instagrammable content in packages, so that when people arrive with their packages, you can call them to action to take photos, use a hashtag, and spread the word for you as well. The easier you make it to buy, the quicker you're going to get people to a checkout. So, using URLs and clicks as often as you can for wherever you're advertising your products or services. And I've got a couple of little bonus things here for you. If you're wanting instant results for your sales, for your business, then definitely look at Facebook ads, because you can be super targeted. Like, you can spend as little as $10 a day or $100 a day or whatever works for you. But you can be really targeted. So if you've got something on this weekend that you want to sell, or you know that what you have to offer is really going to service the people in and around you, use Facebook ads to that direct audience. Don't try and go too big and capture the whole world with Facebook ads. I'd way prefer you to capture your whole suburb than I would you to get, an audience in a different country. So Facebook ads are a really good way. And remember the other tips: call to action, really clear links and URLs, and added value. Put all of those, everything we've talked about today, in your Facebook ads. And another really good way to get instant sales is using influencers and trusted sources. So, good old word of mouth is never going to die, but people who have influence. So I'm not necessarily talking about, someone with heaps of Instagram following because they put up bikini photos or whatever. I'm talking about, people who have influence in a community or who are a trusted source or an expert. So go to them and ask them to experience your product and service, and then if it's right for them, and most of us know someone who is a trusted source who can help, recommend our products, and getting them to write testimonials for you. Maybe you do an interview, maybe you get them to advertise it or stock flyers or whatever in their offices. But word of mouth has always been such a powerful tool for business, from before the days of Instagram, Facebook, and social media. So using that as a tool for people to go, oh, cool, if that person's using it, I'm using it. Or, my doctor or my naturopath said, yeah, that this is a really good thing, so I'm going to do it. Okay, so getting that word of mouth, getting people talking and recommending and advertising and marketing on your behalf is always a good idea. And then my last final marketing tip for you is to measure. Measure what works. So there's no point in doing all of this content and doing all of this work unless you're going to actually figure out what's working. So you might create amazing added value for your audience, but all they really want is a really clear call to action and a simple URL to click on, because they already love you. It's already been recommended by an influencer. All they need is the shop now button. And so you need to go, right, I'm wasting all this time and doing added value and it's not really working. So what I want you to do is any marketing thing you do is measure it, okay? So work out if you're getting sales from it. Are people engaging? If you're in a position to get, when people buy stuff, asking where they found out about you. So starting to get that kind of feedback, because once you get that feedback, you can measure the results of what's working, what's not working, and do more of it. So some of this stuff will work for everyone's business, some of it will only work for certain businesses, some of it might not work for any of your businesses. You're responsible for working that out. The only way you're going to work that out is by doing it. So jump in the deep end, don't freak out, just give it a crack. Madeline says perfect timing. Glad you like it, Madeline. Give it a crack and measure it. Okay, if it's not working, cool, move on. Don't get all emo about it. Don't get over the top. Just move on, let it go. That didn't work for me. But what I will encourage you to do is that if you're going to give it a go, do it properly. Don't just smack it out there and go, oh, Kayleen said to do this, so we have to do it. Do it properly. So if you're going to create free content and give added value to your clients, then make sure it is on brand, it looks awesome, and it's great value. Cool. So just a quick recap: create awesome content, add value, do your client map, call your customers to action, make it really easy for them to buy, and then if you're really stuck, use Facebook ads and get really super targeted with it, and use influencers and trusted sources. And don't forget to measure everything you're doing. Find out what works and do more of it. Good luck, guys. Have a good day. Cheers.